I live by this park. And me and my mom would walk back to the park at night, usually around 11 or 12 at night. Anyway, it was kind of late that night because my mom was out with her boyfriend at the time. So when she got back, I asked her if we could walk back to the park, even though it was 1 in the morning. She said yes, so we started walking. She was telling me how she felt like she was being watched by someone or something on her way back from her boyfriend's house. I didn't think much of it at the time, but as we got closer to the park, I thought I saw someone sitting on the picnic table by the swings. I looked closer and thought, no, that's just part of the tree. But as we got closer, something didn't look right. As we got closer, when I got under the tree in front of the swings, I stopped. But my mom was still walking. So I said, "What's that?" And my mom stopped and said, "What is that?" We both looked at each other. We saw a girl. But there was something not right about this girl. She was all white and glowing, and I could see through her. I said, "Run," and me and my mom both ran home as fast as we could. When we got home, I told my brothers what we saw, and they said they saw her before too. And just last week my brother seen her at the park by that same tree on his way to Taco Bell. When I was pregnant with my daughter, my ex was working out of town. Well, one morning he called me and broke down crying, telling me he had a dream of getting shot and he died. I was trying to comfort him long distance. I told him maybe it means a big change, and I told him about my daughter's due date. When she was about 3 months old, him and I had this huge fight due to him cheating. I got so mad at him, I threw all his stuff out in the snow and kicked him out. A few days later he kept trying to call. I changed my phone number. Well, a week later I seen him at Walmart. I avoided him at all cost. A few weeks had passed when I kept seeing his truck pass me on the road. One evening it was raining, and I had went to church with my daughter. I looked back to see him standing outside in the rain. When I ran to the door to go talk to him, he wasn't there, and people in the front looked at me like I was strange. 3 more months had passed when I found out he had been murdered. Out of nowhere my room would get hot, and I would feel his arms wrapped around me, and when I finally told him I had forgave him, it was then I didn't ever sense his presence again. In 2009, Slender Man was given life in a spooky corner of the internet called Creepypasta, a supernatural meme created as part of a Photoshop contest by Something Awful forum user Eric Knudsen, screen name Victor Surge. Slender Man is a faceless, spineless specter who stalks children, and whose myth has penetrated digital stories, web videos, and now real life. It even inspired a 2018 movie starring Joey King. It was a Friday night, and she was so excited, Peyton's mother, Stacy Leutner, said in a 2015 interview on 2020's. According to Peyton, the trio were celebrating Morgan's birthday with a slumber party. But their regular old night of roller skating, pizza, and playing with their American Girl dolls turned odd. Peyton said that looking back, the sleepover was a little different from all of their others, as Morgan, pictured, didn't want to stay up all night. The next morning, they went to the park. "I was told, if I didn't do something, my family would be in danger," Anissa explained in her taped interrogation. According to the then 12-year-old, she feared that, if she didn't honor Slender Man's request to kill Peyton, he would murder her family. Anissa tried to knock Bella out. Bella got all mad and stuff, and I was pacing in circles, Morgan told police. According to TMJ4 News, Peyton stayed with the girls, even though they just tried to fight her. Anissa and Morgan then led Peyton into the woods, where they finished their attack. Reports vary on the exact details, mostly because Morgan and Anissa offered differing stories during their interrogations, both pointing the finger at the other about whose idea the attack initially was. But what is factual is that Morgan stabbed Peyton repeatedly with a kitchen knife, while Anissa stood watch nearby. "I have wanted to hurt people before, but they're not nice to me. So they deserve it," Morgan said to a detective. Peyton was stabbed on her chest, and abdomen, and arm and leg. Brian Huckstorf, a doctor at the Waukesha Memorial Hospital, said to Muir on 2020. 5 wounds on her arm, 7 on her leg, the rest scattered throughout her torso. Per WISN News, Peyton was in intensive care for weeks, and came through with 25 resulting scars. That Saturday morning, a uniformed police officer approached the Leutner property. According to Stacy, her first thought was, "Something has happened to somebody that I love." Both parents said that they were blindsided. Minutes later, they rushed to the hospital. According to reports, the 2 girls tore off through the woods on a quest to find Slender Man now that their deed was done. Rolling Stone explains that the mansion where Slender Man mythically dwells is located somewhere within Wisconsin's Nicolet National Forest. "We tried to find Slender Man," Megan confirmed to an investigator. In December 2017, Anissa received the maximum 25 years in a mental health facility, after pleading guilty to being an accomplice to second-degree intentional homicide. In February 2018, Morgan received 40 years in a mental hospital, after pleading guilty to attempted first-degree intentional homicide. It's a long time. But this is an issue of community protection. This is an issue to be sure there's no recidivism. This is an issue to ensure that Ms. Geyser doesn't have a revolving door situation, where she ends up being in the community, and then things fall apart, and she comes back, Judge Michael Boren said via the New York Times.